So welcome to the spoiler-free review of Avengers Infinity War, which I saw last night. I think, yeah, we got out at around like 9:45, 9:50, something like that last night. It is now 10:53 the following morning, and I'm still mind blown. I need to see this movie again. I want to see this movie so badly again. It's incredible. Okay. So, like I said, this is going to be the spoiler-free review version of this video. I will have a spoiler-filled version coming out very soon. I'm going to film them back to back, edit this one first, upload it. So if you're watching this right now and you kind of want more of my deeper thoughts on certain situations, just different things like that, just wait. That video should be up within the hour. So stay tuned for that if you've already seen the movie or you just don't care and want spoilers. But this is going to be just the friendly one, me talking about the movie as a whole without literally any details. I'm not even, like, we'll go into like what the general premise of the story is, because everybody should know that. If you're a fan of the Marvel movies, you're gonna love this, I think. If you're not a fan of Marvel movies, I don't know why you would go see this. I feel like you would have a hard time understanding. For the most part, Marvel's done a really good job making all of their content very jump-in friendly. Obviously, as the years go on, it gets a little bit harder, other than if it's just like the solo runs. Like, I honestly think that people could have saw Thor Ragnarok without really knowing any of the other Thor movies and still thoroughly enjoyed it. The first Avengers movie did a great job just reintroducing characters, putting them into a scene, even if you'd already seen the movies, and if you hadn't seen the movie, they did a really good job with that. But this one is just such a large, grand story that it would be so hard for them to make it 100% new viewer friendly. And honestly, this is not for new viewers. This is people who have been around for the 10 years that they've been making this cinematic universe, the cinematic masterpiece. And I'm gonna say masterpiece, I'm saying it. It's 10 years that they've been working on this, and it's so artful and so masterful. And just real quickly, like, DC, I had no faith for you for a really long time, but like if I was like, Wonder Woman was pretty good, they're moving in the right direction, it's gone now. You guys are like so many years behind now that it's ridiculous. I don't know if you'll ever be able to catch up with this. So yeah, basic little story for those who just kind of want an intro is that as things have been building up through the Marvel Universe, specifically shown in the Guardians movie, there is the Titan Thanos, who is displayed in Guardians of the Galaxy as this war tyrant. He kidnaps Gamora from her home planet when she's a child. Basically, she says that he wasted genocide, and that's what he does. He just goes to different planets, completely obliterates most of the population, and then moves on, and is now hell-bent on finding the Infinity Stones, Infinity Gems, whatever you want to call them, that are just kind of scattered throughout the universe. And these have been specifically mentioned in many Marvel movies over the years. So Loki's Tesseract is one of the stones, and then in Doctor Strange, he has the Time Stone. Vision has a stone right on his head. There's obviously one in Guardians of the Galaxy. And that pretty much leaves one stone that's just completely unaccounted for right now. And this movie is just Thanos trying to put together his Infinity Gauntlet. Him trying to get all the stones to complete that gauntlet and finish what he sees as his mission. And we won't get into any of those specific details until you go watch the movie. So let's just talk about how it all lays out. When you have that many characters, you probably think that there's no way you can put that many characters in a movie, have it make sense, have people see enough of the characters that they enjoy to make it worth watching. And I honestly feel like I would mostly believe you and be on your side with those statements. But somehow they've proven, Marvel Studios has proven time and time again that they are so good at juggling multiple character storylines in a single movie. But this is obviously just at a larger scale. I thought the first Avengers was a massive undertaking, and all of the characters in that movie are in this movie, and then you have just literally 3 times as many people that they're trying to push into a movie, and I think they do a really, really good job with it. So the movie itself is about 2 hours and 40 minutes long, which when you hear that, you're like, that sounds disgustingly long, but it did not feel like it by any means. It flew by. The whole movie just flew by. There wasn't any lulls, and obviously that's kind of a benefit to trying to juggle so many different storylines happening at once and so many different characters, is that there isn't really a lot of time for that lull. There isn't time for any wasted, misused space. They have to be incredibly selective about what makes it into the movie. There might have been a couple scenes that could have been shortened down a little bit or changed slightly, but when I try to think of what a better alternative would have been, I don't really know what I would go with, so I think that they made the right choices And I'm just mind blown. I know somebody said that it seems like that reviews are trying to not give it bad reviews, even though it's bad. And maybe those are people who aren't Marvel fans or something. Because I thought it was amazing. As a fan of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, as a fan of comic books, as a fan of just everything that they're doing on screen, I thought that this was an absolutely amazing movie. I honestly think it's one of the best movies I've ever seen. And I am saying that as a comic book fan, and I don't even mean it's one of the best comic book movies I've ever seen. I mean that it probably stacks up as one of the best movies I've ever seen. But I realize that is because that I'm a comic book fan. It's like, I think that, Inglourious Bastards is one of the best movies I've ever seen, but my dad is not a fan of subtitles, and he likes real war stories, so that seemed weird to him. Everybody's gonna have different opinions. Not everything can be seen as universally loved. So for me, I consider this one of the best movies I've ever seen. So if you're a fan, or even a remote fan, or if you've ever been a fan of that Marvel Universe, 100% go see it. They've, like I said, they've proven time and time again that they know how to weave these stories and make you care about these characters. Obviously, you have your driving force characters. You have your characters that more people are going to be familiar with, and they're around. They're definitely around, but you still get enough of other little people. Are there characters that are probably going to be like slightly left out in your opinion? Like, are there characters that are your favorites that maybe didn't get as much screen time as you would like? Absolutely. Absolutely. There is like, I don't even know, like 20, 30 superheroes in this movie. Clearly somebody's gonna get a little bit of the shaft, but when saying that, I still think that everybody that's in it got a chance to shine in some way, which is really hard to do with this many characters. So I thought it was actually really incredible what they managed to accomplish, and that's what this is. I honestly think this was an accomplishment. I think it was a cinematic experience that you need to see. If you're even like the slightest fan, you need to see this. And if you're not, maybe refresh yourself on some of the other movies. I think the important ones to see before going into this would be like, honestly, I think you could get away with at least having an understanding of who Captain America, Tony Stark, Iron Man, who they are, just having an understanding of who they are as characters, then having seen Guardians of the Galaxy. I think if you see Guardians of the Galaxy, Ragnarok, and know who the central players are, so have an understanding of some of the larger Avenger characters, I think you'd probably be okay going into this. I honestly think you would kind of at least have it might not mean as much. That's the thing. It might not mean as much to you if you just saw those few movies, but I honestly think that you would have enough of an understanding just with those two movies, and then just knowing who the other characters are, that you'd be able to make it through this movie. So overall, my review is, I want to give this like a 10 out of 10. I want to give this a 10 out of 10. At the least, I'm giving it a 9.5 out of 10. I want to see this. Like, I was emotionally drained after that movie. Like, there were moments where people were cheering in it. There were moments when people were just just people being like, no, and just like, this was like an emotional roller coaster. And I know a lot of people will be like, oh, Marvel just tries to rely too much on comedy. And obviously you're gonna have those moments. Comedy is a central part of the universe that they've created, and it works incredibly well for them. You're gonna have that, but the stakes feel higher in this movie. Everything feels more intense in this movie, and I am so excited to see what happens in the next installment. Unfortunately, that makes every movie that comes out from Marvel between now and then boring. It seems like I'm sorry, Ant-Man and Wasp, that was probably a really bad decision to put Ant-Man and Wasp out after this movie. Like, I'm sorry, it's really hard to even remotely want to care about you. It's really hard to even remotely want to care about your storyline after what I just watched. Yeah, they did an amazing job. If you're a fan of that series, if you're a fan of the universe, definitely, please, 100% go see it. So that is gonna do it for this part of the review. If you guys are interested in spoilers and having a more deep discussion about what happened in the movie, click off this, go to my other video. I'm gonna try to remember to put a card up here on screen, so that you guys can go over there and join that discussion. There's probably gonna be things that I missed, because like I said, there's so much packed into that movie. I saw it last night. I definitely need to see it again, but let's go continue the discussion over in the spoilerverse if you're down for that. So thank you all so much for watching. Have a fantastic day. Go see Avengers Infinity War, and we'll catch you all later.